Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel where we dive deep into the mysteries of the past. Today, we're exploring one of the most powerful and recognizable symbols from ancient Egypt, the cobra. When you picture a pharaoh, what's one of the first things you see? It's probably that iconic golden crown, with a snake rearing up right at the forehead. But this wasn't just a fancy decoration. This was the Uraeus, a symbol so packed with meaning it defined royalty, divinity, and the very order of the cosmos. So why was this serpent so revered? Why did it sit on the brow of kings and queens for thousands of years? Let's unravel the story of the mighty Egyptian cobra. First and foremost, the Uraeus was the ultimate symbol of royal power. Wearing it on the crown, or headdress, wasn't a choice, it was a declaration. It signified that the pharaoh was the legitimate ruler, endowed with divine authority directly from the gods. The ancient Egyptians believed this cobra wasn't just a static piece of gold or lapis lazuli. It was alive with magic. It was said that the Uraeus would spit fire and venom at any enemies who dared to threaten the pharaoh. Imagine being a foreign envoy or a rival standing before the ruler of Egypt, and seeing this fiery serpent staring you down. It was a potent form of psychological intimidation, a constant reminder that the pharaoh was protected by forces beyond the mortal realm. This wasn't just about earthly enemies either. The Uraeus protected the king from supernatural threats, evil spirits, and chaos itself. This leads us to its role as the ultimate protector. The cobra was seen as a living guardian, an extension of the pharaoh's own divine power. In times of war, soldiers would look to the Uraeus on the king's battle crown as a sign that they were divinely protected and destined for victory. It was believed the cobra would rear up and strike down the enemy forces, clearing a path for the Egyptian army. This protective power didn't end with the pharaoh's life. In fact, it became even more crucial in the afterlife. The journey through the underworld was fraught with dangers. Demons and monsters lurked at every turn. The Uraeus was believed to accompany the deceased pharaoh, lighting the way and fending off these dark forces, ensuring the king could successfully navigate the trials and achieve eternal life among the gods. But where did this powerful imagery come from? The cobra was the sacred animal of a specific and very important deity, the goddess Wadjet. She was one of the earliest and most enduring goddesses in the Egyptian pantheon. Wadjet was the patron goddess of Lower Egypt, the northern delta region. She was often depicted as a woman with a lion's head, or more famously, as a rearing cobra, poised and ready to strike. Her name itself can be translated to the Green One, linking her to the lush fertility of the Nile Delta. As a protector deity, she was fierce and uncompromising. When Upper and Lower Egypt were unified, Wadjet didn't disappear. Instead, her symbol, the Uraeus, was joined with the vulture symbol of Nekhbet, the goddess of Upper Egypt. Together on the pharaoh's crown, they represented the unification of the two lands under a single, divinely sanctioned ruler. So every time you see that cobra, you're also seeing a representation of the goddess Wadjet, the fierce protector of the land and its king. Now let us talk about one of the most profound concepts in ancient Egyptian belief, the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The Egyptians were keen observers of the natural world, and they saw powerful metaphors everywhere. For them, the snake was the ultimate symbol of transformation and renewal. Why? Because it sheds its skin. This process of shedding an old, worn-out layer to reveal a fresh, new one underneath was a perfect parallel to their beliefs about eternal life. They believed that death was not an end, but a transition. Just as the snake sheds its skin to be reborn, the soul of the deceased sheds its mortal body to be reborn into the afterlife. The cobra, therefore, became a powerful symbol of resurrection and endless cycles. This is why you see serpents so frequently in funerary art and texts. They weren't just there for protection. They were a promise of rebirth, a visual prayer for eternal life for the deceased. The cobra's significance gets even more cosmic when we connect it to the most powerful god of all, Ra, the sun god. Every day, Ra sailed his solar boat across the sky, bringing light and life to the world. And every night, he journeyed through the treacherous underworld, battling the forces of darkness to ensure the sun would rise again the next morning. His greatest enemy was the serpent demon Apep, the embodiment of chaos and destruction. According to myth, the Uraeus was originally created to serve as Ra's protector. It coiled around his head on the solar boat, acting as his all-seeing eye. It was often called the Eye of Ra. This divine cobra would spit fire at Apep and any other enemies, who tried to stop the sun's journey, thus defending Mat, the cosmic order of truth, justice, and harmony. When the pharaoh watered the Uraeus, he was essentially channeling this power. He became the earthly representative of Ra, responsible for maintaining Mat on earth, just as the Cobra helped Ra maintain it in the heavens. This connection elevated the pharaoh from a mere king to a cosmic figure, essential for the survival of the universe. Given all this incredible symbolism, it's no surprise that cobras were everywhere in ancient Egypt, not just on royal crowns. They were a dominant motif in tomb paintings and reliefs, often shown protecting the deceased or guarding sacred spaces. They were carved onto sarcophagi and furniture placed within the tombs. Beyond the tombs, cobras were one of the most popular designs for amulets and jewelry. People from all social classes, not just royalty, would wear amulets shaped like the Uraeus. These weren't just fashion accessories. They were powerful magical charms believed to grant the wearer protection, health, and vitality. A small faience or gold cobra amulet was like having a piece of divine protection with you at all times. It was a way for ordinary Egyptians to connect with the powerful symbolism of Wadjet and Ra, and to seek protection from the dangers of both the living world and the afterlife. And now for a fun fact that perfectly ties all of this together. Let's talk about the last pharaoh of Egypt, Cleopatra. Her death is one of history's most famous and debated moments. According to the Roman-era accounts, she chose to end her life by the bite of an asp, which is the Egyptian cobra. Now, why would she choose such a painful method? Because it was steeped in royal and divine meaning. By allowing herself to be bitten by the sacred cobra, the symbol of Wadjet and Ra, she wasn't just committing suicide. In her eyes, she was performing a religious ritual. The bite of the divine serpent was believed to deify the victim, making them immortal and uniting them with the gods. It was a way for her to bypass the humiliation of being paraded through Rome as a prisoner of war. Instead, she chose a death fit for a pharaoh, a divine departure that would ensure her place in the afterlife as a goddess. It was her final act of defiance and her ultimate embrace of the ancient traditions she represented. So the next time you see a depiction of an ancient Egyptian pharaoh, look closely at the uraeus on their brow. It's so much more than just an emblem of kingship. It's a symbol of divine authority, a fierce protector, the embodiment of a goddess, a promise of eternal rebirth, and a connection to the sun god himself. From the crowns of living kings to the tombs of the dead, and even in the legendary death of Cleopatra, the cobra was a constant and powerful presence, weaving its way through the very fabric of ancient Egyptian civilization. It represents the eternal struggle between order and chaos, and the unwavering belief in the power of the divine to protect and renew. Thanks so much for watching and exploring this amazing symbol with me today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into ancient Egypt, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures into the past. Let me know in the comments what other ancient symbols you'd like to see us cover next. Until then, stay curious,